It's great to have you all here. Seniors, parents, grandparents, and friends. Welcome to Midland's 82nd graduation. Thank you for coming, and thanks to our singers. Our graduation speaker today is Jim Dreyfus, a Midlander with roots. He's a graduate of Midland, class of 1981, grandson of Kay and Ben Rich, Midland's second headmaster, son of Kit Rich Dreyfus and John Dreyfus, former Midland board member and graduate, the class of 1952, brother of Kim Dreyfus Lintz, class of 82. Jim and Beth are the parents of Emma, 2015, our school prefect, sitting here today, and father of Lana, class of 2017. Jim is from a family with a deep love and appreciation for Midland School, its philosophy, the program, the property, and all the people associated with this place over many years. He recently accepted an invitation to join the Midland Board of Trustees, and we look forward to his contribution in this new role. Jim is no stranger to working with nonprofit organizations and currently serves on the board of LAMP, whose mission is to end the homelessness of Los Angeles' most vulnerable individuals, those suffering with mental illness. As a student, Jim was one of a venerable group called the Midland Heroes. The Heroes are students who jump at the chance to use tools and go on hardware store runs to purchase materials needed to make repairs for the good of the community. His hero days set the stage for his future business success. While in college, working toward a BS in construction management, Jim worked for Crescent Bay Company, a tract home developer, and later for an architect in the affordable housing industry who built homes for nonprofit developers. A few years later, Jim's father suggested they start their own construction company. It didn't take long for his dad to realize it was not the business for him, but Jim and his business thrived. Dreyfus Construction was a perfect fit for a former Midland hero. Jim is a bike rider, a former board member of the YMCA, and his current member, a formidable opponent and past president of the Santa Monica Rugby Club. Please join me in welcoming Jim.
Thank you, Will, for this opportunity to speak on behalf of all the parents of the graduating seniors. It's a real privilege for me, and it's right where I want to be. Fellow parents, we've reached quite a milestone. Our kids are now adults, independent, self-reliant. We can finally convert that bedroom into a home office, den, or man cave we've always wanted. Well, maybe not quite yet. We all remember dropping our kids off at Midland for the first time. I remember watching Emma walk bravely to the middle yard, alone, scared, but courage to find. I was a bit dismayed at Roundup when she informed me that she'd be attending public high school after the winter break. Then at Christmas, she kindly patted me on the shoulder and said, "Thanks for sharing the family tradition, Dad, but I'll finish the year out, but I'll be attending Hamilton High with Michaela next year." It wasn't until we were driving home down Figueroa Mountain Road for summer break that she informed me she was going to miss all of you, her friends, and couldn't wait to come back in the fall, which was a good thing because I'd already laid down the hefty deposit for the next school year. She told me that complaining about Midland was just a fashionable thing to do her freshman year, and a bit of parent tormenting too, I suppose. And so Emma never looked back and blossomed with the rest of her classmates into the fine, upstanding graduates you see before you here today, bonded with the people and the place. You, class of 2015, stand at one of the summits of your lives. Enjoy the view, savor the moment. You've earned it. You join the ranks of a select and elite group of people who have lived their education in this unique place. Being a parent of a Midland student has been a great experience for me. It's given me the opportunity to reconnect with the place, to take a look at it from a new perspective, and to reflect on how it has and continues to impact my life, and how I expect it will impact yours. Seeds are planted here that sprout, grow, bloom, lie dormant to regenerate later. Friendship, connection, interdependence, simple living, distinguishing between needs and wants, self-reliance, kindness, tolerance, initiative, community, responsibility, striving, failing, succeeding sometimes, but finding out that failure is just part of the process, self-knowledge, self-acceptance, the acceptance of others, and being accepted by others. Timeless lessons and qualities represented by some of the phrases in Emma's last chapel used to describe and thank you, her classmates, for living these lessons these past few years. According to Emma, you are collectively extremely excited, have continuous optimism, you make Midland awesome. I think I was supposed to sing that part. You're the weirdest person I've ever met, and you're always entertaining. You make it clear that you care. You are openly friendly to everyone. You are sometimes obnoxious. I love complaining to you because you're an excellent listener and a supportive friend. You're funny and smart. You have a great work ethic. We're best friends. I love your kindness, charisma, and energy. Your excessively green attire, nature boy. You're the most perfect person. You laugh with me as well as at me. You taught me to tolerate different types of country music and to appreciate a hard day's work. You're a loyal and fierce friend. You're a bundle of contradictions, an awesome partner in crime, a crazy person. You show no pity, and you show love without irony or overwrought sentiment. Well, that was worth the price of admission right there, and thanks for letting me borrow part of your speech, Emma. What a launching pad from which to drive into the next phase of your lives. You're ready. You know what hard work is. You know perseverance, teamwork, and self-reliance. You know there will be setbacks that you will overcome. You know patience, tolerance, and kindness. Okay, 5 categories of advice. I've narrowed it down. 1, treat yourself well. You can't be your best to others if you're not true to yourself. Don't be self-critical. Get lots of sleep, eat well, and exercise. 2, pick your friends wisely. Note criteria above. Be the kind of friend you want to have to the right people. You can't please everyone. Life is not a sprint. Take your time. Don't feel rushed. Breathe. Enjoy the journey. Be thankful and present. It's okay not to know, and set goals and go for it. 4, choose to be happy. Notice the simple things that make you feel good, and don't sweat the small stuff. 5, call your parents once a week, Lana. And come home for the holidays, or every Sunday for dinner. We love you and want to be part of your lives. This token, which is in the little brown pouch I left on your seat, is not a magic talisman. It's just a pewter acorn, but it's meant to symbolize what you've learned here. I hope it serves as a reminder and a welcome mat. You're part of this place now. Your names are on the board. It will be yours forever.
We'll now hear from junior class speaker Jack Grimes.
Oh boy, that's a lot of people. Knock, knock.
Who's there?
Doctor. There you go. You know, Mark Twain once said that giving a commencement speech is a lot like eating a frog first thing in the morning every day. Because once you do that, you got the hardest part of your day done. That being said, at a commencement speech, it is generally thought of tradition to pass on sage advice about the future, how to be successful, the secret to happiness, and what really matters in life, right? But where would I learn this? The answer lies in front of you, the audience. You parents, sitting proudly in the seats, see in front of me some of the finest men and women I have ever known. It has been they who have taught me this knowledge, and in turn, I give it back to them. When I first arrived here, this class welcomed me in friendship. They spoke to me easily, let me into their cabins, or at least the guys did. And they shared with me their wisdom. So as I stand here today and bid you farewell, I wish to tell you what I have learned. From Jinya, I have learned to be punctual and to be honest. More importantly, though, I have learned to be a friend to everyone. From Root, I have learned to take care of my body, to exercise regularly, and to be impeccably stylish. From Johnny, oh boy, I have learned to say and do what I think is right, and not to be afraid of the consequences. I have learned to be different and to know that that is okay. From Lay, I have learned unconditional kindness, the importance of sharing whatever I have, to make strong friends, and to have fun with everything. I have learned to take life with a confident stride and a grin. From Fawn Ray, I have learned not to take things for granted. You're the kindest, most cheerful person I have ever met. The world needs more Fawn Rays. You taught me the value of being thankful. From Jordan, I have learned the value of being unique. I have learned to be strong-willed, true to myself, and not to back down no matter the situation. From Sylvia, I have learned to find humor in any situation. I have learned, too, the power of a snappy retort, however cynical it may be, and how to appreciate sarcasm. From Isa, I have learned that everything will be all right in the end. If it's not all right, it's not the end. Simple as that. Your resilience through many tough situations has bolstered my own. From Nyana, I have learned to do whatever is right for me and not to let others get me down. I learned to enjoy nature and to be dependable. From Tale, I have learned to express myself and to take things with a grain of salt. I have learned that sometimes you have to be loud to be heard. And sometimes you don't. From Sean, Nature Boy, I have learned discipline, thoughtfulness, to think before I speak and to be mindful in everything I do. Most of all, I learned never to forget my home. From Ezzy, I have learned to smile often, laugh loudly, and be proud of who I am. You taught me to speak when something needs saying and to enjoy wherever I happen to be, because it will always change. Crawford Cooley. Not many people know this, but his name is actually a synonym for extremely hard worker. I have learned that hard work is the most important aspect of any task. I have learned never to lead a project half done, to keep a big heart and an open mind. I have metaphorically and literally learned how to keep my tractor in good repair and keep those wheels rolling. You have instilled in me the sense of professionalism and politeness that will help me for the rest of my life. From Lupita, I have learned care. You care for the horses and for your dog, Tonancine. I hope I pronounced that right. And you care for your class. Also, I learned to help people where you can, and do your best at it. From Emma Thorpe, I have learned to listen to my own opinion, even while I evaluate others. I have learned independence and personal strength. From Miles, I've learned to be handy. I've learned to be a jack of all trades, and the importance of self-reliance. I have learned also that short shorts can look good on any man. And, not to mention, that perfect hair is an essential. And from Emma Dreyfus, I have learned to maintain a rigorous academic schedule and to try my hardest at whatever I face. The most important of all, however, is to carry yourself with grace throughout all situations. This senior class is phenomenal, truly. And now you leave off into the mysterious and wonderful world that is college. And what can I say for you that you haven't taught me? What insight can I give you that you have not mastered? I say only this. I have complete faith that you will do what you love and do it well. Thank you ever so much for teaching me, for being my friends, and for making my time here, whether intentionally or unintentionally, comfortable. No, not comfortable. Exceptional. Thank you.
We can all leave now. No. Thank you, Jack. Senior class speaker, Lupita Valle.
Mr. Graham told me not to talk about farting in my speech. Don't worry, no flatulence here. This stanza from Walt Whitman's Leaves of Grass resonates well with my class. I resist anything better than my own diversity, and breathe the air and leave plenty after me, and am not stuck up, and am in my place. When you look at the group of students sitting in front of you, what do you see? Well, other than a bunch of good-looking youngsters. I'd imagine that you see 17 young adults, faces glowing, with bright futures ahead of them. Well, you are wrong, but not entirely. There is a lot more to us than the stereotypical seniors awaiting their end of high school. We all do have bright futures ahead of us and anticipate the end of our Midland careers, but what you see and what my classmates and I see when we look at each other is something entirely different. When we look at each other, we see freaks. I know that there is this stigma about how a freak is a bad thing, but at Midland, freaks are welcome. For years, the school has been run with freaks, and yes, this includes the faculty and even the head of school. To the outside world, a freak is someone who fully expresses himself or herself to the point where everybody judges him or her for how genuinely open he or she acts on their ways of living, ways of dressing, ways of eating, and especially ways of communicating. Midland fosters these sort of honest, self-expressing freaks, especially in my class. Us freaks in all our quirky nature are the future. For 4 years, I've walked along the campus's dusty surface and imagined where I will be in 10 years. Where will my classmates and peers be? There are film writers, architects, politicians, film engineers, astrophysicists, botanists, ranch managers, EMTs, doctors, chemical engineers, and many more sitting in front of you. But going back, what does this have to do with Walt Whitman? Our class holds this diversity that Whitman speaks about in his poem, Leaves of Grass. As freaks, we are each as unique as the next. I resist anything better than my own diversity, and breathe the air and leave plenty after me, and am not stuck up, and am in my place. More importantly, in our future, we will attempt to remain unique, challenging ourselves to be as different as we were seconds before, evolving with time. Individually, we might encounter immense obstacles, but at least we are well equipped to address the adversity against us. And breathe the air and leave plenty after me, and am not stuck up, and am in my place. Midland's philosophy, community, and environment has assisted every single student standing before you to breathe the air and leave plenty after us. Midland has assisted each of us in finding the most efficient and unwasteful solutions to our problems. Through the principle of taking what we need to fix a problem, Midland has helped us find our place in the world. When I say taking what we need to fix a problem, I don't mean chopping wood or fixing a light bulb or making shower fires. I mean using our resources like teachers or mentors or the knowledge we've received from them to fix the mental dilemma that runs through each adolescent's mind. What the hell are we going to do with our lives? Without Midland, we wouldn't be sitting here, I wouldn't be speaking, and all of you wouldn't recognize how fantastic my class is. And I'm not stuck up, and I'm in my place. Each of my classmates holds their own sense of place wherever they go. We don't get stuck in time. We don't get lost in our own paths. Wherever we are right where we need to be. One more Whitman quote. I believe a leaf of grass is no less than the journey work of the stars. We, now I'm addressing my class, are as simple as the leaves of grass or wild rye in our case, but the paths we've constructed for ourselves are as complex as the universe's celestial composition. If we get lost, we'll find our way. Thank you guys for allowing me to cherish my most simplest and most difficult times with you.
Thank you, Lupita. Now hear from school prefect Miles Crawford.
It was last summer when I learned that I would be the school prefect, and then therefore I would be giving this speech today. Nevertheless, I have managed to put off writing this speech for about the past 8 months. Naturally, I always want to do a good job, not embarrass myself, and sound somewhat intelligent. My problem, what kept me hung up, what I wanted to find out, was I wanted some event to transpire and define my Midland career, to give me the material that I needed for this speech, and to define my education and my life. In short, I was having an existential crisis, but you can call it procrastination if you like. Fortunately for me, in my time here at Midland, the faculty have been working hard to arm us for situations such as this. Over the course of this year, Jill Waddell has guided us seniors in her British literature class on what has been, to a great extent, an exploration of how humans make meaning of their world, which is of great use to me. This year, we began in the fall by analyzing Beowulf, the epic 3,182-line poem written in Old English. Yes, I had to look that up. As I set out to place meaning on my Midland career, I thought perhaps this long-standing pillar of English literature could offer me some solace. After all, if Anglo-Saxon mythology could explain the chaos of the medieval 8th century, then perhaps it could also help me explain high school. In Beowulf, mythological creatures are used to represent quarrels, scourges, and plagues of society. For instance, there's a fire-breathing dragon that wreaks havoc across the land near the end of the poem. The dragon is perhaps a Christianized symbol of evil and adversity. Beowulf defeats the dragon, but is mortally wounded in the process, and thus the meaning of Beowulf's life is to be an honorable martyr and protector of the weak. Or, to use the Old Anglo terminology, the message of the poem is that one's life will be meaningful if they uphold the values of comitatus. As great as it would be to exemplify my classmates as knights and to use dragons to represent the adversity that we have overcome, I'm not so sure that the way in which people found meaning in the 8th century would help me much in addressing you today. Additionally, I shouldn't condone the violent nature of the Anglo-Saxons. After all, dismemberment probably won't prove to be a valid form of conflict resolution in college. Most recently in Jill's class, we read and discussed several postmodernist and absurdist works from the 20th century. I'll go ahead and speak for the class, but Waiting for Godot, an absurdist play written by Irish poet Samuel Beckett, was one of our favorite plays of the year. And perhaps this could be the stuff that could explain my life and my high school experience to you. Well, in Godot, as our class came to refer to it, there's no tangible plot or really any cohesion in the diction. As the genre indicates, Waiting for Godot is a utterly absurd play stripped down to the bare elements of nonsense, quite similar to high school at times, as I would like to think. But why, you might be asking, would we cover this in our class? Well, what's the meaning behind that? As it turns out, absurdity does a very good job at describing many aspects of our lives, and this comes very true to high school. Sometimes we have no idea what we're doing or what we're doing things for, but eventually there might be a meaning somewhere. But as Beckett, the play's author, sincerely believes, the reader should not try to make sense of it too much, as the power in nothingness is that it can encompass so much. As one of our final assignments in Jill's class, we were to write an absurdist essay, or as we came to know of it, the anti-essay. The point of this assignment was to write an essay with no logic and no purpose. In the finer terms, we were supposed to demonstrate our comprehension and essay writing skill by contradicting all of the conventions that we had previously held so dear. The result of this was the creation of some truly bizarre compositions, but all of them had an uncanny allure and pockets of words that seemed to be ghostly profound. I sincerely enjoyed working with this kind of literature and its imperfect mechanism of capturing truth. Nevertheless, when the thought dawned on me to write an absurdist graduation speech, fortunately I held back. Yeah, I wouldn't put you through that. Over the course of this year, I've gradually become more comfortable with the idea that few of the meanings and ideas of our lives can be captured perfectly. And so sometimes we must turn to the absurd to put it into something that we can understand. Almost nothing fits in a box, and the Midland experience is certainly no exception. While the day-to-day occurrences here may sometimes seem absurd, I believe that this place does have an intangible and yet undeniable significance. By now, you should have all realized that Midland is not a typical school. I mean, we should all be on the same page with that. What has prevented me from falling into a perpetual cycle of existential crises is faith in what happens here, faith that this place is important. Midland has allowed me to experience an uncanny array of human emotion. Because of Midland, I've had my first few encounters with gut-wrenching anxiety. One of those times is right now. And also, I now know the true euphoric feelings of joy and peace and pride. I will never be able to package everything that Midland has done for me and everything that I have learned from this place entirely in one concise package. But thanks to the tools that I've gained here, and thanks to the guidance of the teachers and the faculty, I'm at least able to stand here and articulate my reverence for the elusive nature of truth. Thank you.
Thank you, Miles. We'll now hear from School Prefect Emma Dreyfus.
Writing a graduation speech about your own graduation comes with the assumption that you have reached some sort of emotional closure about leaving high school, which is something I can't say I've experienced. I've been refusing to accept my graduation since last year's ceremony. As I watched Madison Mayhew stand up to receive the first diploma of the class of 2014, I felt a desperate urge to stop time. I didn't want Madison to ever hold the diploma in her hand because I felt that the second the handover was completed, I would actually have to be a senior, and then I'd actually have to leave. The penultimate term at Midland provided a time of mourning for me. A perpetual cloud of nostalgia covered my head as I thought, this is the last blank that I'll ever blank, and I can't believe we're actually leaving. For this term, I've been too possessed by the typical pre-summer, oh God, get me out of here sentiment to process my immediate departure from the place that I've called my home for the last 4 years. Luckily for me, inspiration for this speech came in the form of the 1970s mega reunion. Midland was flooded with alumna, all reconnecting with old friends and seeing the place that had been their home for 4 years. Because of the sudden influx of old friends, my father, who graduated in class of 1981, decided to invite his old classmate Tom to have dinner with us. I sat across the table from this stranger. A few seats separated us, creating the perfect spying distance, so I could observe my father and his friend relive their high school glory days without them noticing me. My father and Tom chatted about Midland and what they had been up to recently, and while they did, I was struck with the oddest sensation. This would be me in 40 years, I realized. Who would be my Tom? Was he very close to my father, or would my children likely not know who my best friends in high school were either? After dinner, I tried to pacify my nerves by grilling my father about his ex-classmates. Were you guys very close at Midland, or was he, just one of those guys you knew? Oh, yeah, he was one of my main gang of friends. The knot in my stomach tightened. So my friends would likely be the unknown dinner guest as well. I tried again to force my dad to provide me solace. Maybe my kids wouldn't know my friends, but at least I would. So how often do you guys talk? Do you guys ever call or email or stuff? Oh, I hear from about every 10 years or so. 10 years? I'm at an age where I can hardly fathom 10 years. 10 years ago, I was 7. 10 years ago, I still wanted to be a professional cat breeder. 10 years ago, I wore gaucho pants and a sweatshirt exclusively. It seems impossible to know someone if you only speak to them once every decade. Needless to say, this dinner did not quell my frenzied emotions about graduating. Suddenly, I was certain that in 40 years, I would have a mega reunion of my own and return to a Midland that I no longer knew and speak to people I was no longer friends with. For the next 24 hours, I dreaded graduation and the bridges it would surely burn. The following night, however, one of the 1970s reunioners made an announcement at assembly. He moved to the center of the circle we had formed near the barbecue pit on the field and said something like this: "Midland is a wonderful place. And in 40 years, you will come back and be so grateful for the time you had here and be so grateful for all of the people you'll reconnect with. The 1970s Midlanders have been planning this event for months on Facebook, and we'd like to thank you all for hosting us." This alum provided me with an answer to my long perplexing question without even knowing it. First off, he mentioned Facebook, With our Facebook feeds constantly displaying every major event and every minor event of all of our friends' lives, we couldn't lose touch with each other even if we tried. Secondly, he helped me realize that the thing that would keep me close to the life I've known at Midland would be Midland itself. No matter what happens to us, Midland will always be here. This year, we will leave. In 4 years, all of the students we know will leave, and I predict that in 10 years, all of the faculty members we know will leave as well. But Midland will be here. In 10 years, we'll come back as 28-year-olds. We'll have graduated college, where we'll have made a whole new set of friends. We'll be preoccupied with our jobs and our significant others and the satisfaction of being young, but not too young. In 20 years, we'll come back married. Some of us will have kids to watch, and we'll need to make sure they don't find the axes. In 30 years, we'll be almost 50, and we can all complain about paying for our children's college educations, which will just keep getting more and more expensive. And then, at our own 40-year mega reunion, we can talk about our tenure and what exciting things our children are doing with their lives now. 40 years will have passed, and our lives will have evolved and changed, but Midland will be here. Now, I'm not suggesting that the school won't change. I've seen the campus plan. I know that the Midland I come back to won't be the Midland that I leave. I know that I'll step into the hay barn and realize I'm stepping into a theater. I know that I'll look up on Varsity Hill between Glass House and Playhouse and no longer see Phil's rickety, inhospitable abode. The school will look different when I come back, but Midland will be the same. There will still be head prefects standing on Stillman Porch to ring the ding-a-ling. There will still be teachers sitting along students at dinner. There will still be students chatting and singing while showering alongside each other. Midland will stay the same because the people will stay the same. Midland is a special place, and everyone who goes here knows it. The people who are drawn to the school are the people who respect individuality and hard work. They connect with the Midland philosophy, and it is their commitment to Midland as it is that will keep its core essence intact for the rest of its existence. Midland will remain, and it will be the constant that we all return to. No matter how much we all change, we will all have Midland to bring us back together. When my dad saw Tom after 10 years, they didn't greet each other as strangers. I couldn't understand how they were still friends, but they were. Now I realize that returning to this place serves as a form of time travel. When people come back, they return to the place as they knew it, and because Midland graduates are connected to the place in a way that no other high school students are, they can find in Midland a version of their past selves. So when we leave Midland, we will always be able to find ourselves here again. We don't need to worry about leaving. We don't need to worry about drifting farther and farther away until we eventually become estranged. We don't need to worry about seeing each other in 10 years and having no idea who we are. We have something that no other 2015 graduates have. We have Midland.
Thank you, Emma. It has been my distinct privilege to stand with Emma and Miles and to watch the class of 2015 lead Midland School this year. I know there is no college preparatory boarding school in the country that expects more from a senior class or gives students more responsibility. Finding balance in this technocentric day and age is often elusive. However, these seniors showed us how to juggle the challenging academic load, lead the daily jobs, and select a college. When the going got tough, they slowed down. They extended a hand, continued to make the effort, and openly expressed an appreciation and love for each other and a genuine respect for the school. Along the way, they found the time to start a women's basketball team, a men's volleyball team, a women's softball team, restore a tractor, sing camp songs, birthday songs, start a chorus, play chapel tunes, build a bridge, display art and metals projects in a museum, write a thesis, act in a play, write stories, build fences, cook pancakes and desserts, plant oaks, install solar panels, tend to horses, and share chapel reflections. They ran, hiked, and camped, and left the library in disarray. They showed us how to lay down a cell phone, have fun, wear costumes, and laugh. The new half-day field day may be a new old tradition that is here to stay. Each senior took the student contract to heart. They considered the role of the student council in the life of the school and how to equitably disperse student life funds. They reviewed the lab system, and community service was performed. They reached for fairness in an unfair world. They were not mean-spirited or heavy-handed, and they laughed a lot. There is simply no place like Midland, and the school, like life, is not designed to be easy. We don't sugarcoat it. Sustained daily effort is demanding. Jobs are often messy, and outcomes rarely perfect. But the seniors, they just continued to show up to do the job that was expected and finish strong as a class. Over time, we'll come to see that the class of 2015 did indeed leave Midland better than they found it. They raised the bar of expectations for the student body, and they pass along their positive energy and strong example. I hope the class of 2018, the 9th grade, paid attention. One day you too will sit on the Stillman steps with the shadow and legacy of the class of 2015 right behind you. You should lead as you have been led, and don't let them down. It is popular these days to quote Ralph Waldo Emerson, who once said, "The only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be." It is clear to me that the class you are destined to become in 2015 is the class you decided to be. And on behalf of all of us assembled, I want to say thank you. I trust each of you departs today with your own Midland experience in your back pocket, knowing you need not be afraid of the unknown challenges and opportunities that lie ahead. You are necessary. What you do matters. You are not alone, and today you are, of course, right where you want to be. Thank you. I am privileged to present a diploma to each senior and offer a reflection of remembrance in honor of the spirit they leave behind, the fingerprint they leave on this place and in our lives, the head's haikus. Rosie, our riveting leader, arm flexed, Midland Oak tattoo. 4-year senior, school prefect, Oberlin College, Emma Dreyfus. That was a beautiful speech. Dressed for success, hands waving, reaching with reason and persuasion. School prefect, junior boys prefect, Kenyon College, Miles Crawford. Thank you. Great speech. We got a little heart. Come on, a little heart. Start a team, play a game, sing a song, stuff a room, finish strong. 4-year senior, University of Puget Sound after a gap year, Emma Thorpe. galaxy, a constellation, a rocket already launched. Four-year senior, Smith College, Lupita Valle. Big Ben, big pancakes, big fire crew, big heart, mighty oak. Four-year senior, ninth grade boys prefect, University of Wyoming, Crawford Cooley. The smile, large laughed, the dessert, all gifts for us. Four-year senior, sophomore girls prefect, University of California, Merced, Eziaku Nok Anma. Earnest efforting, doing right, being good, learning well. Ninth grade boys prefect, Stanford University, Sean Cummings. Farm, field, court, or stage, a force of nature. Four-year senior, sophomore girls prefect, Center College, Tule, Phoenicia, Alfora, McLeod, Cody. C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G, C-A-M-P-F-I-R-E-S-O-N-G. Free range fun. Midland bird, flies with delight. Four-year senior, ninth grade girls prefect, Cuesta College, taking a gap year with Bella, Nyana Hummingbird. Kind, loyal, determined, deep Midland roots. Four-year senior, California State University, Channel Islands, Isa Moreo. Looks askance, laughing, loves us after all. Four-year senior, junior girls prefect, Pomona College, Akwese Sylvia Nwak Anma. Athlete, poet, artist, new roads to travel. Four-year senior, Pasadena City College, Jordan Swidenbank. I apologize. Look at, I even have it down there. I practiced. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jordan. A smile, a spirit, a power, pure brilliance. Junior girls prefect, Harvey Mudd College, Fawn Rashaw. Sleepy, funny, respectful, the honorable man. Sophomore boys prefect, Rensselaer Polytech Institute, Lei Zun. A backpack holds all he wants, all he needs to know. Northwestern University, Johnny Yanning Wong. Hug. Coyotes sing. Barry Manilow answers. Style and fashion all his own. Philadelphia University, Root Jiaojian Wang. So bright, so friendly, so clear, so good, so true. 9th grade girls prefect, University of San Diego, Jingya Shun. This ends our ceremony. Please join me in congratulating the class of 2015.